Shalom, YouTubers. I wanted to talk about Torah and self-defense. It's becoming painfully obvious in regards to the way the United States is. You pretty much have to have some form of self-defense as far as firearms. I am a gun advocate in the respect that I think everyone should have the right to bear arms. If someone doesn't want that, that's fine. In the regards of semi-automatic weapons, um, not really sure about that yet. So anyway, what I wanted to talk today about using scripture from the Torah, Exodus chapter 22, verse 2. It's an easy one to remember, actually. If a thief is caught breaking in and is struck so that he dies, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. But if it happens after sunrise, he is guilty of bloodshed. Now, depending on what version you use, I'm not familiar with King James because it's been so long since I've read it. This to me sounds kind of contradictory, just basically saying that it's not okay for somebody to break in. If you kill someone at night because they're broken in, it's okay, but if they've done it in the day, it's not. Which the more versions that I read, the more commentaries that I read, as far as after I'd already read it, that it's basically saying that you don't want to go back and find them after they've broken into your home. If somebody's breaking in the middle of the day and you kill them out of self-defense, it's still the same principle. There was a story that I heard a couple of years ago where a man was trying to break into a woman's house. Her husband had passed away, I think, a couple months beforehand. Basically, he was trying to get the chemo medication or his cancer medication from the wife, which the wife basically met him at the door and or was waiting on him to come through the door. She had warned him multiple times and opened fire and killed him. So there are groups now that say that we should not have guns, that we should, of course, let the Lord fight our battles. And I think that is ridiculous because you're just asking to be made a victim in being a pacifist. From the Old Testament, God, of course, was in favor of self-defense, especially whenever a neighboring nation would try to come in and attack the country. They had to have men of war that would protect them. If not, they wouldn't exist. So there was nothing wrong with war at the time, and there still is nothing wrong with the war. People will say, well, that's not what Jesus said. We should turn the other cheek. Oh, I agree if we should turn the other cheek if we're in the wrong, but if they're trying to come to the door and rape my daughter or kill my wife or stab me or shoot me because they want my car keys or they want my whatever else, I think at that point is that you've crossed a line that there's no turning back. And I am not advocating whatsoever for murder, premeditated. I'm advocating for my self-defense and defense of my family. Now, there's a verse in the New Testament that I had to read a couple times because I thought, well, that's kind of weird. At first, from the first part of the issue, it says, think about not tomorrow, whatever you've got, sell it, get rid of it. God will take care of you. Now, at the end of it, this is before he's fixing to be crucified or in the garden-ish, after the Last Supper, Luke chapter 22 and verse 36. But he said to them, but now if you have a purse, take it, and also a bag. If you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. So he told them specifically, if you don't have some type of protection, to buy it. Now, the kingdom was rejected at that time. He knew it. He was preparing for it, and that's why he told his disciples, this is what's going to happen. You guys are going to go through some problems, and you need to make sure that you're going to be able to defend yourself. If not, you're going to die, which with the apostles looking through history, Peter was crucified upside down. They were tarred and feathered. I don't even know all the things that were done to him. I think it's in the Fox's Book of Martyrs, which I've got, which I'll have to reread. But they were basically captured by the government, and I think the only one that made it out alive to be in old age was John. But the point of this video I'm making, is self-defense wrong? No, it's not. I believe that you are sinning, my thought, is you are sinning if you don't protect your family. Because whenever you marry, of course, your wife and you produce children, you have an obligation as a husband to support your family, not just financially. Um, for someone to say, well, you should just wait and call the cops, you don't have that much time. If somebody has already busted your window, reached their hand in the door to turn the knob, by the time the operator says hello, um, it may be game over. So I wanted to make this video because of a couple reasons, especially with the way the United States is going in regards to gun law, with a lot of the mass shootings as well. I am not for the government taking our weapons. I am for us having the freedom to be able to make those decisions. If somebody doesn't want to buy a firearm, that's fine. But my own personal decision, I wish to have them, not for any other reason, but just to protect my family. Because if somebody walks the door, I want to make sure that everyone in my home is safe. So, food for thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Comment, like, subscribe. Shalom.